Welcome to Securities Showdown. Now, my name's Ken Finnan, and I'm happy to be on here again. Tonight, we're pitting two giants of the investing world against each other. Mutual funds versus ETFs. One's old school and proud of it. The other's lean, mean, modern, and ready to take over. Join us are Sarah, the ETF evangelist and the queen of efficiency, and Mark, defender of the faith mutual funds and their so-called personal touch. Buckle up. It's about to get heated. Even I don't believe this crap. Oh, the hot mic crap. Never mind. Sarah, you got 30 seconds. Why are ETFs superior?
Because ETFs are efficient, low cost, and transparent. Mutual funds are the dinosaurs of investing, overpriced and overmanaged. Why pay a fund manager to try and fail to beat the market when ETFs track the index for a fraction of the cost?
Dinosaurs, come on. ETFs are just knockoffs, cheap copies of real investing strategies. Mutual funds deliver active management with teams of experts who adapt to market conditions. ETFs don't have the strategy, they just follow the herd. Real investors know the value of professional management.
Professional management? You mean professional underperformance, right? Face it, Mark, most mutual funds can't even keep up with the market. Investors are waking up and ditching your overhyped sales pitch.
Keep telling yourself that, Sarah. Meanwhile, mutual funds provide real diversification and careful stock selection, not just a cookie-cutter index. If you want quality, you pay for it. ETFs are just a discount shopping like TJ Maxx. If you're making money, it's because you're lucky. Okay, Mark, why should investors pay higher fees for mutual funds when ETFs are so much cheaper? Because you get what you pay for, Ken. Mutual fund fees pay for research, stock picking, and risk management. ETFs are cheap for a reason. They don't do anything. You're just buying an index and hoping for the best.
Yeah, and my clients are paying a fraction of what your clients pay for hope. Mutual funds love to tack on 12B1 fees, sales loads, and hidden costs. You say those fees pay for research? Funny, because most of that money goes to marketing and sales commissions. At least with ETFs, the costs are transparent and minimal.
And ETFs are completely free of costs, right? Wrong. Bid-ask spreads, commissions, markup, markdown, tracking errors, they add up fast, especially for active traders. Mutual funds have no trading costs and no intraday volatility. Stability matters, Sarah. The only thing you're paying is a sales charge up front. Oh, an ETF.
Stability?
Yeah, okay.
Please.
You're going to be a commission
more like stagnation.
Out, right?
Your no trading cost argument is just code for we don't give investors control. ETFs let you decide when and how to trade. Mutual funds trap you with arbitrary end-of-day pricing. It's like watching a show on Netflix and not getting to change the channel until 4 p.m.
And if you have a lot of money, you can reduce what goes in. If you do B shares, say you want to do a B share instead, you go, I'm going to be a long time, but I don't have a lot of money. So you can put it in. You pay no sales charge up front. And when you leave, the longer you stay, the lower it gets. So we're definitely suitable for a lot of different people. And if you're going to be in there for a short time, do C shares. If you're in there for 2-3 years, you pay no sales charge at all. Come on. Mutual funds are way better. Okay, Sarah, give us a real world example where ETFs outshine mutual funds.
Easy. Say you're saving for retirement and want exposure to the S&P 500. Instead of paying a 1% management fee for a mutual fund that probably underperforms the index, you buy an ETF like the SPY, low cost, simple, and you get market returns. No gimmicks, no surprises, just performance.
And let's say you want something more strategic, like a fund targeting undervalued stocks in an emerging market. A mutual fund with active management can find hidden gems and capitalize on opportunities that passive ETFs are going to miss. Your precious SPY can't do that, Sarah.
Hidden gems? More like hidden risks. Emerging market funds are notorious for high fees and underperformance. With ETFs, you get diversified exposure without paying for someone to guess wrong. Let's not forget the tax benefits. ETFs rarely distribute capital gains, while your mutual funds are busy blindfolding investors with surprise tax bills. And let's not forget ETFs are at the mercy of market trends. If the index tanks, so does your precious SPY. Mutual funds professional management, they actively manage risk to protect the investors during downturns. We're the smarter choice for long-term stability. Mark, we know taxes are a big deal. How do mutual funds justify their capital gains distributions and all those taxable distributions every year? Because they're part of an active strategy to maximize returns. When we sell a stock for a profit, it benefits all the fund's investors. Yes, there's a tax hit, but it's a small price to pay for active management. ETFs dodge taxes because they don't do anything. Small price to pay? Spoken like someone who's never seen a mutual fund tax bill. ETFs use an efficient creation redemption process that minimizes taxable events. Investors keep more of their money instead of handing it over to Uncle Sam because their fund manager felt like rebalancing, and most of it ends up being long-term capital gains, which is a lower rate anyway. And that's because ETFs don't actually manage risk or adjust to market conditions. Passive investing is lazy investing. Mutual funds put in the work, and yes, sometimes that means taxes. At least we're delivering value, not just tracking trends. Why is your fund type the better choice for investors, Sarah? Because ETFs are efficient, flexible, and designed for the modern investor. Mutual funds are stuck in the past, charging high fees for mediocre returns. Choose ETFs if you actually want your money to work for you, not your fund manager's vacation fund. And choose mutual funds if you want real management, risk control, and access to specialized strategies. ETFs are for people who think investing should be cheap and easy. Mutual funds are the people who want it done right. Done right? You mean done expensively. Keep selling that snake oil, Mark. The rest of us are moving on to the 21st century. And the rest of us will enjoy real growth while your ETFs follow the market off a cliff. Have fun being average, Sarah. And that's a wrap. ETFs bring low cost, transparency, and tax efficiency to the table, while mutual funds promise active management, stability, and expertise. It's a clash of innovation versus tradition, efficiency versus strategy. Thanks to Sarah and Mark for the fireworks. Join us next time on Securities Showdown, where the debates are as hot as your portfolio should be. Oh, there we go. There we go. Welcome on. Happy Tuesday. What a fucking day in Wall Street today, right? We start up 1,200 points and then we end down 300 because Trump started a street fight with China. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch. Please remember. Now, I talk about this all the time. No capitulation here, right? We're not going to give up. We're not going to sell our shit at the bottom, right? I hope that's not what we're going to do. Anyway, back to this. It is Tuesday night. Tonight is FINRA night. SIE 6, 7, even the 24 if you have some questions on that. 57, maybe the 79, but I will act like an idiot because I don't know it that well. Now, but I do have tutors coming online who can help with that. So maybe I'll bring them on here once in a while. Now, don't forget a couple of things. Make sure you check out Facebook, my Facebook group, which has over 7,500 people. Yeah, it's over 7,500 people in it now. All helping each other out, study groups, all this shit. One of these times, I'm going to end up hitting this button and closing out the whole chat by mistake. This is the link for the Facebook group, everyone. It is outstanding. Study groups is a private chat for every single test that you can take. Now, adding on to that, if you want to check out tutoring, obviously I'm here. I'm at series7exam.org. If you have questions about the study groups or tutoring or the Zoom groups that we do, the membership stuff, the emails going across the bottom, Jeff at Capital Advantage Tutoring, and that's my partner over there, Jeff on the bottom, hanging out by his pool. Okay, now, if you don't want to use us, which why I don't know, but there are other tutors out there. I should have by the end of, well, I'll leave that alone. So we will have, also you can use Michael Weiss. He's at series7examtutor.com. He's outstanding. He's about half of all my costs. He costs about $120. I cost about $200. I have other tutors that are in the 120s, but he's about 110. I think he's under 100 during the week and over 100 on the weekends. It's good stuff. Michael Weiss, he's really good. He's everything I'm not, right? So I'm good at, I shouldn't say it that way. I'm very good at what I do, but I'm unorganized. As you can see, I'm a flake. He's very organized. He has handouts and everything. So it's like going to class. I'm like that smart teacher that gets stoned when they walk into class kind of thing. Okay, so now, okay, but I still get you to pass the damn test. So let's keep moving on this. If you need free resources, obviously I have my YouTube. You can also check out Brandon Rith over at Basic Wisdom, and Susie Rhodes at Past Semester has some good stuff. I think she slowed down on her video posts, but she has some good ones out there. She has some good stuff out there. I think she has a couple tests on her, stuff like that. Also, what people don't realize, that when you go to somebody's YouTube channel, especially an educational one, go to their playlists.
Do not try. I mean, you can go around the front page, but I get all the time. I was searching around. I watched a couple of your videos. You have anything just on this test? Yeah, just tab over, tap it over. It goes right to the playlist, and boom, it's there. There's seven crash course, option math. They're all organized. So you go in there, and then you pick and choose what you want, and you grab it, you watch the video, and you pass the damn test. Okay. Now, let's see what we got here. Let's move it on up. Okay, John Regan, thank you for joining. You're going to love the Serious Study Thread. We meet at 7. Now, let's talk about this for a second before I get into your questions. Every Friday night, I do this. I do a FINRA class at 7 p.m. I do an options class at 8 p.m. If you join a tier, and also I have my amazing, wonderful, game-changing options videos. $20 a month, and you get 23 option videos on my playlist. Do not go to my website and buy them. You'll only get 4 videos. If you go on here on YouTube for $20 a month, just remember to cancel after you pass. You get 23 videos. If you up it a little bit to $25 a month, you get the videos and all the old class videos. Plus, we meet at 7 p.m. to go over FINRA stuff. If you want to jump it up even a little bit higher, we have the options one, which is $50 a month. You get the option class at 8 p.m., the Series 7 class at 7, and all the options videos and all the old previous class recordings. It's pretty awesome. It works out to be about $8 a class, which is pretty cheap because we meet 2 times that we meet Friday at 7 and 8, and we meet every Friday, even Good Friday and Bad Friday and all that shit. Okay, now, here we go.
Ken, real quick.
What?
There's my email. If anybody has any questions about the schedule, send me a message. I'll send you the schedule.
Perfect. If you guys have questions, and he's super helpful. He's actually, that's kind of what he does for other places too. He's helpful. I'm not. Like, just understand, I want to warn you guys, if you ever somehow get me on the phone, and I tell this to Jeff too, at all times, I am actively trying to get off the phone. So I may be nice to you and I'll tell you stuff, but in every sense, I am actively trying to get off the phone. I don't like talking on the phone. I do, in a way, for a very short time. Like my wife, we're now down to texting. We can be next to each other. We text each other. It's so much easier. Okay. Now, so I'll get you Paula. I don't know. Maybe you can read that one and figure out if she's on the right one. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Pick 6. Hello, baby. Okay. 63 tomorrow. Tonight's FINRA night, but it is okay. What you do for the night before, okay? For the night before tonight, you watch the crash course or the 63 quick and dirty, relax. Here's the one thing I'm going to tell you. Read every fucking word. Read every single word. Do not skim. I've seen it so many times when I do tests with people. They go, oh, it's this. And they go, did you even read the 4 answers? And like D is better than B. So let's not get into that. Just read all 4 choices. Make sure you're good on the ethics. So if you're taking it is it in the morning? Oh, at 3. That's awesome. So if you have STC, go over the crunch time facts. If you have Notman, use their key topics. If you don't, if you have Kaplan or Pest Perfect, you're kind of fucked, but it's fine. They're good at what they do. I would, if you're taking the afternoon, anyone taking the 7 class or the SIE course test, see my mouth is going faster than my brain or the other way around. You want to read customer accounts the day before, but you taking the 63, you want to read ethics and prohibited activities the morning of. Okay. What do you mean by highly manipulated? 6-pack. Okay. Maria. Okay. Thank you. Okay. I love this. Let's see. Oh, you know what happens? Oh, there it is. Okay. Here we go, Maria.
Gotta get dip. Gotta get dip.
Boom. Wrap up for April 8th. Okay. Let's go, baby. Okay, Maria, that is outstanding. Hey, so when you took it, anyone surprise you? Any surprises? Okay. Krista, yes, the stock market's on sale. I just did a Wall Street wrap up. It'll go out in about, it should go out posted on my Instagram, which is Series 7 Whisperer, and my TikTok, which is Series 7 Whisperer, in about 30 minutes. It should be scheduled to go out. My little wrap up of what happened on the streets. Okay. Wall Street wrap up. Okay. Now, Jason D. Okay. First of all, Natalie, yes, I am doing a live, but I like to have a little preamble ahead of time. So I like to show a video that I put out that I like. my security showdown, I think, are the funniest things I do. And if you guys ever recognize the girl, tell me if you guys can tell me who the girl in that video was. Okay, so now, any advice on figuring out bonds? Okay, now, Jason D, JD, baby. Okay, now, understand, you have to understand what they are, first of all, okay? They are you. So Jason, if Cat's Tutoring decides to go public and we go, we're not going to give up equity, we're going to sell debt. So what we're going to do is we're going to borrow money. I know you probably know this, but you borrow money. So Jason, you're lending money to me at $1,000 a clip, and I'm going to pay you interest every 6 months. So say it's a 10% bond. You lend me 1,000. I'm going to pay you 10% of 1,000 every year, which is $100. And it means I'm going to pay you $50 every 6 months. Everything is based on that, right? So let's say you're getting 5% a year. 10%, I said. And rates, all other companies, bonds that are similar, rates go down. Your bond's still paying 10%. Any new bonds are only paying 7 or 8%. Your bond looks awesome. So why wouldn't, right? So that's like a much more attractive. So yours looks better. So the price of your bond will go up and it becomes a premium bond. Okay. Now the other way, and again, it's just big picture. Let's say you have a 10% bond and rate. Let's say these tariff shit, they work or they don't work. Maybe they work, but inflation skyrockets. So what does Jerome Powell do? Starts raising rates again. So say it starts jacking rates up again. Now, let's say your bond's paying 10%, but all the new bonds are paying like 15. Yours is still paying $100. Everyone else is getting 150. Yours looks like shit. Okay. So what's going to happen? The price is going to drop. That's literally what it is. So everything else is based on that, like what you need. Can I call the bond back? Like if I'm the issuer and the rates go down, I don't want to pay 10% anymore. So maybe I call it back. But that has to be allowed in the indenture. The indenture is like the agreement between the trustee and the issuer. And that says everything I can and can't do. Is it secured by something? Can I call it back? Is it non-callable? Is it convertible? All this shit is in the indenture. So if it's callable, when rates go down, I refinance and call it back. Why would I do that? So if I'm paying you 10%, but I go, wait a second, new rates are 4%. So let's say the tariff does work and all free trade, baby, free trade. And they drop the rates down. Now rates are 3 or 4%. I'd much rather borrow money at 3 or 4% than pay you 10. So I'm going to issue a new bond at 3 or 4%, use that money and pay you off. And that's called call risk. And that's a problem. So you have to understand that bonds are you lending money to the issuer. The other way to do this, Jason, find my videos in the Series 7 or SIE playlist, depending what test you're doing. I assume I'm saying SIE if you're not understanding bonds. If not, I don't know how you got past the SIE, but congrats. If you go watch my SIE on bonds and then go watch my 7 thing on bonds and just watch it. And then I have a bond math playlist. Go watch them. Also, here's the thing. A lot of times you do understand what bonds are, but the vendors are like, I'm going to screw you and make you think that you don't know your shit by throwing tricks at you. And that happens all the time where a vendor will ask questions and you're tricking you so you think you don't understand it. When you do, you just fell for the trick. The real exam, while not easy, I'm sure it's not easy, is not tricky. There's a couple tricks, but it's very straightforward. It's actually asking you what you want and what they want to make sure that you actually know your shit. They may throw some curves and weird words at you, but they're not going to do the old, oh, that's true, except for the third Thursday in April during Mercury retrograde. That's not true. They're not. That's what Kaplan and the vendors do. They go, well, you would have been right, except for this one word over here makes it totally incorrect.
Hey, Ken, since we're on the topic of bonds,
yeah,
can I throw one up here because there's a little bit of a battle going on here between a couple people about muni bonds.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. A resident of New York City purchases an Albany, New York bond. Okay, you live in New York City, you buy an Albany bond, and you get 6 interest during the year. You pay nothing. Yari Mari, baby, you pay nothing on that. Why? Because it's not about the city, it's about the state, right? So if you buy a bond in your home state, you will pay no interest on that. Now, let's talk about it. Since it's a GO, you will pay 0 interest on that bond. Now, if you lived in the great state of Jersey and bought a New York City bond, you would have to pay state tax on that bond. Now, let's curve it a little bit. What if that was a revenue bond? Now, if it's a revenue bond and it's not considered public purpose or general obligation, right? If you make a shitload of money like Yari, you're going to make a shitload of money when you pass this shit.
What's going to happen is you might have to pay what they call AMT, alternative minimum tax, where they tax you. But this question on its own, you will pay no tax because it does not matter that you're in a different city. As long as you're in the same state, you're good to go. Hope that helps. Let me know if she answers on that one.
Yeah, there was a couple from Yari, but I think you covered everything with those. So.
Okay. Now, so here's the thing. So namaste. Okay, so now namaste. Okay, so now nice Irish name, I think. Okay, so now I got to bring some up after we're done with this about Ireland. It's really interesting. Not a bad thing. It's actually kind of funny. So the 5% guideline is not a rule. Remember, it's not a rule. It's a guideline, okay? So the 5% markup, 10% commission, 10% would be for IPOs and DPPs, I think. But that's, and then there's 8.5% rule for mutual funds and sales charge. But the 5% guideline for commissions and markups, okay, is a guideline. It is not a rule. It's so you can actually charge more than that, but you better have a good reason. So my old CCO, former SEC guy, he said under 5, even if you're, by the way, even if you're under 5%, you technically could be considered excessive charging, right? So think about it. Where's Berkshire? Do you know where Berkshire Hathaway is trading right now, Jeff?
Way up there, but down.
It's like, I know. Berk A is trading at $739,000 a share. So if you were to charge 5% to buy one share of that, 739,000 times 0.05, you would charge a $37,000 commission to buy one share of Berk A. That's 5%. I gotta think that that's going to be excessive. Don't you agree? I would have to say that if you charge $37,000 to buy one share of Berk A, you're gonna be in trouble. You're like, why didn't you just go to Schwab and pay nothing? Okay, so it's a guideline, but it's like in reality, when I was running one of the desks, one of the when I was at GFI, not G2, a lot of G's. I was running the one of the trading desks, and one of the reports that came up was anything over 3%. So you could charge up to 5%, but anything over 3% kind of raises a red flag. But let me get back to this again. So here's the deal. You can charge more than 5%, but you're not supposed to, okay? And even if you charge 5, you're not probably kind of high, okay? But again, if you're under 5% and it's not Berkshire, you're probably fine. But here's what happens. When you buy stock, they base it on the ask, where you could buy it. So let's say the stock's offered at $57 and you sell it to your customer at $58. That's including a markup of $1. The dollar is going to be divided by 57. So they will look at $1 markup divided by 57, and that's 1.7 commission, 1.7% commission, totally fine. Okay? But if they're selling it, they do it on the bid. So if say the inside market is 56 bid, 57 offer. Okay? If you sell the stock and buy it from them at like 53, so the bid is 56, you buy it from your customer at 53, that's a $3 markdown. So you would do $3 divided by 56, that's 5.3%. You better have a good reason for that. Okay? So you can do it if it's hard to find, or it's illiquid, or the customer's a real pain in the ass, whatever it is. There are reasons, but you better have a good reason for charging more than that. For the most part, remember, this is what I try to say. Namaste. Whenever there's numbers, a lot of the vendors go nuts. Like they'll ask you some convoluted shit. Like, understand, even if you're a market maker, and this is, I don't know if we're going to get this, right? Say the inside market is offered at 57, but you were offering at 58. And then you sell to your customer at 59 and you go, oh, I'm charging a one point markup from my offer. No, it's from the inside. That's why I said 57. Big thing here is if the customer's buying, the commission or markup is based on the offer. If a customer's selling, it's based on the bid. Now, there's something called the proceeds transaction, okay? A proceeds transaction is when I have shares of Microsoft and I want to buy Tesla, okay? So I call you up and I call you Namaste and say, I want to sell my 1,000 shares of Microsoft and buy 500 shares of Tesla, and the same transaction. So I can do that. I can charge commission on both,
but it can't be more than 5%. I think it's of the bid of what you buy. Okay. So if you sell 10,000 of Microsoft to buy 10,000 of Tesla, I can charge you a 5% commission on both, obviously, because they consider it one trade, but you can do both. But the total can't be more, it shouldn't be more than 5% of the buying shares. So I can't really charge more than 5% at 10 grand. They should just say you can charge on one side, but they have to make it confusing. Okay. Namaste, I probably made it worse, but if you listen to it again, it might work out. Okay. Volatility. So here's the pick 6. What measures volatility? How about that? What index measures volatility? I'll wait for you guys to answer that one. Okay. Control people. Okay. So a control person is, I call them the pods, PODS. Partners, officers, directors, and S for big ass shareholders. Okay. If you're a pod, you have to file what do we have to file? A 13G. Oh no, at 5% we do 13G or 13D. But you're now a control person, and you have to fill out a Form 3, which means you're a control person now. If you're a control person, 1, you can no longer short your own stock. That's 1. 2, when you sell the shares, you have to follow the 144 rules. What are the 144 rules? I'm saying this way on purpose. You can sell the greater of 1% of the outstanding every 4 or the 4 weeks trading volume every 4 weeks. So it's again 144. 1% of the outstanding, 4 weeks trading volume, 4 times a year. I shouldn't have said 4 weeks, 4 times a year, which is every 90 days. So you can sell and this is forever, as long as you're a control person, there's no holding period, but you have to follow these rules. So the idea is that if you own 10% of the company, it should take you like 3 years to sell it. Unless it's a really busy stock. So if it's a really liquid stock, then it's fine. You can dump your shares in there. That's why a lot of times big shareholders will just wait for the company to issue more shares, and then they will do what they call a secondary, where they're going to sell their shares in a big lump sum, and then they have a prospectus on all that, and they sell it all at a fair price. Now, when you want to sell as a control person, you must fill out a Form 144. Boom, it gets published. That's literally what happened to me. Every time I buy NVIDIA near a high, fucking Wong and all those fucking people file 144s and start selling their shares because they file it and it's public. Because, oh my God, they're selling their shares, and the stock drops. As somebody once told me, I never actually care about people selling their shares. I care about people buying them, okay? If they're buying shares, that's good, but there's a million reasons to sell. They have to pay for college, they have a house, they have to buy a new yacht, whatever it is. But when you see insiders and control people buying shares, that's a good sign.
Ken, just to separate something there, when you're saying 144, don't confuse that with 144A.
True. Okay, fair enough. So let me talk about the other part. So there's another whole part that before we get to 144A, there's a whole other part of 144. What I just talked about was control people of register. That's like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, anyone who owns 10% or more. Okay. Now, they have to follow 144 rules forever. There is another part of 144. If you buy, and you're not a control person, if you buy shares of a Reg D, private placement, unregistered shares, then you have to sell. You can sell after you held it for 6 months. The idea here is that if you buy in a Reg D, the first 6 months is, and if it's, as long as it's reporting to the SEC, their financials, it's 6 months. If you hold it for 6 months, that's the riskiest time. So the idea is that you can't buy it and then dump it on grandma, unsuspecting grandma. So you hold it for 6 months. Then you can sell as much as you want. But now what Jeff brought up, remember, the reason we do this, the 144 holding period, and this is only for unregistered, not for control people, is you don't want it dumping it to retail people who can't defend themselves. Well, there's a type of, and I talk about this in one of my videos about retail institutional quibs. Quibs can defend themselves. They are institutions that manage at least $100 million. They can literally defend themselves, and broker dealers that have over 10 million kind of thing. So if they manage more than 100 million, AUM is the word we use, assets under management. If they have more than 100 million, they're a quib, which means under 144A, they can buy the shares from you during that holding period. Why? Because they can defend themselves. The whole point is that The more you can do, the more you can defend yourself, the more they can let you do. So like retail are idiots. So we handle them like babies. Accredited investors, that's the 1,200,000 1 million income, 1 million net worth, 200 salary, 300 salary, married. They can defend themselves a little more. We allow them to do more things. Then we have institutions can do even more. And then quibs can literally do whatever they want. They don't want, like literally, I would think, and I probably said literally 40 times, they probably are more sophisticated than the regulators. So they understand risk better than the regulators do. So the regulators are like, sure, just buy what you want. We don't care. As long as you don't commit fraud, we're not gonna protect you, but we're also not going to put handcuffs on you. The more FINRA and the SEC needs to protect you, the more handcuffs they put on you. So 144A allows quibs to buy during any kind of restricted period. They also can buy if you issue shares outside the country, like a Reg S, it can't come back in for 6 months or a year, but quibs can buy on it right away because they can defend themselves. Okay, hope that helps a little bit. Seawin, I know I'm a little farther than control people, but Jeff got me going. Okay. Paula. Okay. Basis points. Okay. Here we go. Basis points is how people measure like your commission, like what you're making and stuff like that, or the rate. So remember, I want everyone to write this down. It'll help you on the test. Everyone write this down. 100 basis points equals $10 equals 1% equals 1 point. I'll say that again. 100 basis points equals $10 equals 1% equals 1 point. So if I make 200 bips, it's 2%. If I make 50 bips, it's 0.5%. That's what it is. That's not the same as basis. Basis is another word for yield to maturity. Basis point, they'll kind of work together. But basis points are a measurement. So if the stock dropped 200 basis points, that's 2%. If the stock went up 200 basis points, that's up 2%. So that's where this is, okay? And remember, so if they say, oh, you dropped 200 basis points per bond, that's $20 or 2 points or 2%. I said 200 basis points, right? Yeah. So 200 basis points is $20, is 2%, is 2 points. Hope that helps a little bit. Okay, Paula, the way you know is if you go to hit my join button, hit perks. If it gives you the ability to go higher, you got it. Here's the other way. Go on to find my options math playlist. Click on it. If it lets you watch the videos, you have the right one. Okay. Jason D, thanks for joining, baby. Danny. Okay. How do you say that? Jeff, I never know how to say it. How do you say Danny, N-G-U-E-N?
Norwegian?
I don't know. Danny, you got to let us know how you say it. Okay. Paula, boom. I love it. That is awesome. We're ready, Paula. She took the 65 like a year and a half ago. She came back and banged out the SIE in like 3 weeks, and now she's taking the 7, which is awesome. Okay. 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 Look. You think I'm going to say that name? Michael, H-U-N-T, congratulations. That is very funny.
I did have a neighbor with that name growing up.
Well,
that was a real name. So that could be, that's, you know.
I know, but I'm rewarding him for saying it, but I'm still going.
Okay.
So since you get that one, if that's real, that's great. I actually had a friend with that name too in high school. Oh no, his name was Mike Carr. It was a big difference. Here, hold on 1 second. Here we go. Big difference. Okay, baby. Michael, congrats. You ever see those videos of the Peloton riders where they put the fake name, they go, and you said, oh, you said that right. Yeah. The guy, Mike LaRosa, every time he was in the Zoom, he always his name was like H-U-G-H, H-U-G-H, and then J-A-N-U-S. H-U-G-H-U, J-A-N-U-S.
Do you have a Peloton?
No. He's a friend of mine in the Zoom. He passed all his exams, so he's done with me. Actually, it's Mike LaRosa. He would always put fake names in the thing. Okay. Yari Mari. Okay. So you can choose anything you want. So if you don't choose, let's go over the question. Can an investor select LIFO, or is it always FIFO as an IRS defaults to? Okay. So you can do select to share. Like I'd say if you go on the test, they try to say you can't pick LIFO. But I know my Schwab, I can check that button and say LIFO. So what happens is you can choose any method you want. But here's the thing. If you don't choose a method, they automatically do FIFO, and that's where they get you, okay? So if you don't choose a method, they automatically choose FIFO, which screws you. They can't technically say, oh, we're going to pick the lowest cost basis, but if no one knows money or time value and all that shit, how to squeeze a dollar out of anyone better than the IRS. So they know that if they do FIFO, 90% of the time, they're going to get the lowest cost basis. Now, you can do select to share, you can do LIFO, you can't do average price really, but you can, as long as you choose before settlement, you can leave standing instructions on your account. I do that. As long as you change it do it before it settles, then you're fine. Okay. John S. Now, I don't believe in that method. I mean, I believe in taking tests, but how many you take? Nah, that's not what I do. You take them all. Like if you have STC, which you should, for the 24, you should be used for any of the principal exam, the Series 3, you should always be doing STC. They're great. Look, for the 7 and the SIE and the 65, 66, 63, Kaplan's good, Achievable's great, STC is good, Past Perfect is good, but for the principal exams, go with STC every time. Now, how many should you take for the 24? You do it till you feel comfortable. And if you start memorizing questions and maybe get the Cap and Q bank or something, but you do it till you feel comfortable. Like you also, do you know this? I started this Series 24 class probably in December. I had about 10 people in there. I'm down to 1 now because everyone's passing. It's not me. It's just whatever. Yeah, it's me, but whatever. The point is, it's now done. So literally, this woman who's in the class now, she's getting private lessons until somebody else shows up, and that's $150 a month, I think it is. So it's a deal on my join. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Congratulations, Michael HUNT. Okay. 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 Let's see, Jason. Boom. There you go. So Jason, I gave you some help on bonds a little bit. Find my bond videos. Watch the SIE ones and the 7 ones. They will help you. Find my bond math also. And like I say, okay, now as I say, Zach, I appreciate it. As I keep saying, I forgot what I keep saying. The vendors, I say it so much I forget, right? The vendors will make the bonds harder. Okay. Okay. Yes, Luke, this is a great question. Okay. Miller, I appreciate it. I like being compared to MJ. I'm with you on that one. Okay. Now, all bonds can absolutely be accreted or amortized. It's just when you have to. So everyone tries to, the Mayhammer that Achievable does is good. Past Perfect has a thing that you memorize. I try to keep it as simple as possible. So I just remember the 2 things that you must. OIDs, which are 0 coupons, you must accrete. Have to. Doesn't matter. Corporate, treasury, muni. But remember, 0 coupons, that accretion amount is considered interest. So that interest is taxable or not, depending on what kind of bond it is. If it is a muni, that accretion is not taxable. If it is a corporate or treasury, that shit is taxable because it's interest. If you buy a bond, a term bond, and it drops because rates went up, that accretion amount will be taxable. But you don't have to accrete because only OID discounts have to accrete, which is 0 coupons. On the premium side, only munis have to amortize. Makes it easy. Corporates and treasuries don't have to. They can, they don't have to. So again, everything can be, all discounts can be accreted, all premiums can be amortized, but only the have tos. You got OID you have to, and muni premiums you have to. Everything else is a get to. Okay. Every time I say that, I think of, do you ever see the movie Rookie of the Year with Henry Roland-Garten with his arm? You ever see that movie? No? It's a fucking kids. How do you not fucking see that movie? It's like they're younger. So it's Rookie of the Year. The kid hurts his arm and he can throw 110 miles an hour and he's like 10 years old. It's very good. It's actually, it came out.
I saw that movie. Yes, I did.
Yes.
From center field from the
yes.
stand.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So the part was one of the pitchers went out and he gave him a speech. You got to find your have to. And he's like, oh, okay. And he goes, what were you talking about? I have no idea. Like he said, you have to find your have to. You're not you got to, you have to. And it reminds me of that. It's my ADD. Okay. Okay. We answered this one already. So see when I'll work on that. So now that works. We got it. If you buy it in the same state, you're good to go. Okay. Mess up the math of finding the parity of bond in the stock. Okay. Don't worry about that too much. Okay. Most of the time I want to know what you want to do. Okay. Okay. Oh, hold on. So that's what you're talking about? Let me talk about that. Okay. Now, here we go. If you buy a convertible bond, first step is always par divided by the convertible price. If they say, oh, you bought a bond, an 8% convertible at 1,200, doesn't matter, and it converts at 25. You do 1,000 divided by 25. That's easy. 1,000 divided by 25. That's going to give you the ratio, which is how many shares you get if you convert. So if you have a 25 convertible price, that means for every bond you convert, you get 40 shares. Is it the right way? Okay. You get 40 shares. Now, what is that? How do you go from there? You're either going to multiply that times the common stock price and get the parity, or divide the bond price by that number. So if you're trying to find out whether I should convert or not, always just multiply the common and then compare. I have videos on that. Find my Mathapalooza video. The first 20 I do. And then if it's and if they say want parity, if they only give you the bond price, divide from the market price of the bond. If they only give you the stock price, multiply. It's that easy. Don't worry about the moving too much. Again, the questions on the real exam, they're not easy, but they're not doing what the vendors do. The vendors go nuts. The vendors like, oh, you have a convertible bond, and then they did a stock call. They did a stock dividend to non-dilutive feature. They did a stock dividend for 20%, and then they did a stock split, and they got a cash dividend after. What's your new parity price? I have no idea. So I just go, I pick a number, and I move on. So the vendors do that. We don't. Now, so here you are, Mary. Here's the thing. Now, the answer, it is not subject to federal income tax. But here's the thing. It technically is not exempt from state tax. It just said all the states other than one communist state of the communist state of Illinois does tax if you buy muni bonds in your own state. They used to. I don't know if they still do. But if you live in Illinois and you buy a Chicago muni bond, you will pay state tax on it, just because whatever. But for the most part, it's not technically exempt from state tax, just the states choose not to do it. Okay, good. Interest from public purpose muni bonds is exempt from federal tax. Right. Now, most states have chosen to make interest. Yeah. So, right. So here's the thing. That's exactly right. So if you buy a bond in your own state, 99.9% of the time, if it's not a revenue, you will not pay any tax on it at all. But technically, they don't have to do that. They can actually choose. So it's not really triple tax free. They just choose not to tax you. Now, there are 4 places where it's triple tax free. Do we know them? Anyone? Bueller? Okay. Here we go. It's Puerto Rico. I have to look up DC because DC is not a state, but Puerto Rico, Guam, American Samoa, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. There are territories. So I don't know if DC is triple tax. It might be, okay? But those 4 islands. Now, it's funny. There's always somebody who goes, what about Hawaii? Well, last I checked, Hawaii was a state. So my line is that if you're over 80 years old, I can understand you making that mistake because it wasn't a state when you were born. But you were born, literally everyone on here, it was a state when you were born, unless you're older than me. Okay. So yeah, entities tax themselves, 100%. But if you bought, and remember I say this, entities tax themselves, but if you buy in your own state, you don't have to pay taxes. That's what I say. So entities tax themselves, but if you buy it in your own state, you might pay taxes. You don't have to pay taxes. Oh, vegan. Okay. Vegan Mango Queen. Now, I love your name, but that is not something I would ever do. I would never be able to go more than a week without eating meat. But we are happy for you. Oh, nope, wrong one.
Gotta get that. Gotta get that. Boom, boom, boom. 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 Gotta get that. Boom, boom, boom.
I left it on too long. Okay, good. If you could only see that I'm popping my head to this shit. I may have to get a second camera at one point. Okay. I bought a drone, a little one that follows me around.
You did buy it.
Oh yeah, it finally came. It came from China, so it like right around. I ordered it in October, thinking, okay, get it before Trump puts the slap on them, right? And it came in like January 19th. So
you waited longer for your drone than you would for a Tesla?
Yes, exactly. By the way, I got my passport because you know, after May 7th, you need a real ID or a passport to fly anywhere now. So I was like, shit, my old license, I can't get any appointments till like July in Jersey. So I didn't know. I applied for my passport online. 3 weeks later, I got it. I got it today. It's crazy. Okay, here we go. Yes, the TGT. This is what I tell everyone. Yes, if I see the word official, I always think munis. Prospectus, indenture is for corporates. Official statement, bond resolution is for any of them. But if I see the word official notice of sale or official statement, that's munis. Official notice of sale is when they announce in the bond buyer that they're issuing a bond. Official statement is like their version of the indenture, the prospectus. Remember, oh my God, MSRB requires that if it's written, the official statement doesn't have to be written, but if it is, they have to distribute it to every person who buys a bond. Okay. Buys a muni bond. Okay. Now, Jason, great question. And that's why I specifically said you don't pay tax on the interest on the bond. On a muni, you do not pay tax on the interest. But yes, if you accrete a bond and you sell it for more than the accretion amount, yes, you have capital gains. So again, if you accrete a bond and you sell it for more than the accretion, or you just sell the bond for more than you paid for it, you will probably have to pay capital gains, because capital gains is not exempt from anything, okay? Capital gains is not exempt from any taxes. You will pay taxes on all three levels on capital gains. So remember, just like mutual funds, everything about capital gains is taxable, okay? Okay, let me go over this again. So, amortize, don't worry about the taxes. On the accretion, remember, so if you, Lockhart, so if you accrete a bond, if say you accrete a secondary market bond, a bond that traded down on its own, okay? If you did that, you will pay taxes on the accretion amount every year. And you'll pay federal, maybe state, but I've never seen a question where they ask about state on the accretion. I just haven't. Most of the time, with accretion and amortization, they'll ask this. You buy a bond for $900. It's 10 years to maturity, and you sell it at $970. So you're going to, if it's an OID, you have to amortize. So after 5 years, you sell it at $970. If you accrete it up, and you sell it for more than that new accretion amount, you will pay capital gains on that on the federal level. So again, so let's say I buy a bond for $90. After 3 years, I accrete it to $950. I have videos to do this, so I'm not going to do this here. And let's say I sell it at $960. That's a $10 gain. I pay taxes on the $10. If that's a muni, I will not pay tax on the accretion amount. But if it's a corporate or treasury, I will. However, this is a great one. Let's say the same scenario. I buy the bond at $900. I accrete it for 3 or 4 years. It's at $950 now. And I sell it for $940. I get a loss. Oh, No, it's only FINRA stuff tonight, baby. It's only FINRA stuff. Okay, so now, I mean, if you have a question that works for both, I'm fine, but not now. So again, if I accrete it up to $950 and I sell it at $940, I actually have a $10 loss. So wait, I buy the bond at $900 and sell it for $40 more and I get a loss? That's awesome. But the accretion amount, it may or may not be taxable depending on what kind of bond you get. But it's always federal. Okay. Satish Mishra. Okay. Oh my God. Yeah, you're ready. It doesn't matter. SI or 7, you're good. As long as you're not memorizing, which sounds like you're not because you've only taken 5 exams. 5, yeah. You only taken 5 exams on past perfect. You are ready. Hold on. So sorry. you have enough knowledge to pass. You want to test yourself, try another vendor. Go on my playlist, find my playlist called Practice Exam Walkthroughs. Go past the first 5 because this is the SIE. Find your test. I have 2 or 3 exams where I take it from a different vendor, a couple achievable, SDC, a couple not. You can see how it goes, and you can see what happens. Okay, try that. But you know enough to pass. Yes, the VIX, baby. Look at that. They all got it right. Okay. Lockhart, thank you. Oh, so Rick, you can short your own stock. I guess technically, but you're not shorting your own stock, right? So if you buy, okay. So Guadalupe, I'm not going to do it here, but I'll put in the video my spread question. I'll put it in there. I'll link it in here so you can watch it. It's pretty good. It's hard to find because it's in the MSRB playlist. This is what he's saying, the underwriting stuff, right? So the underwriting stuff, don't worry about how, by the way, first of all, I have not seen a goddamn test yet where they made you do the math on the calculating the spread and all that crap. Not yet. I mean, a vendor's, yeah, but I've been asking for 2 years and nobody's seen it. I guess it could be testable, so I did a video on it, but whatever. Now, back to ETFs. Yes, technically, if you buy an inverse ETF, you might be shorting your own stock, but it's not really a thing. I mean, that's like, it's one of 30 stocks. It's not really a thing. Okay. If that's what I think that's what he means. Okay. Or if you're short a long ETF, but yeah, you're shorting a fund, not really your stock. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So the 65, 66 at 6 p.m. Eastern, the 7 is at 7 and the 8 is at 8. Okay. Yeah. It's a QIB. QIB. Satish, QIB is 144. Andrea, how are you? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll do the BIPs one more time. Oh, look at that. Lockhart, you're the man. So now. Okay. So what's cool is that if you watch my live from last Tuesday, I did the whole Securities showdown, fiscals and monetary, but I'm going to talk about it right now. Monetary policy is the Federal Reserve. That's Jerome Powell. That's moving the discount rate, okay? So let's talk about the 4 rates for a second. There are 4 main rates we have to worry about. Prime rate, broker loan rate, discount rate, and Fed funds. Pretty boys drive Ferraris. PBD, pretty boys drive Ferraris. There are other ones that I will not say. Pretty boys drive Ferraris. Prime, broker loan, discount, Fed funds. There is another one, but I will not say it on here. Now, pro bowlers don't finish, whatever. Okay, pretty boys don't finish, whatever it is. Whatever you want to say. Now, so the highest rate is a prime rate. That's the rate that the banks lend to the best customers. That's affected by the banks. The broker loan rate is a rate that banks lend to brokers for margin. Should buy a margin account. Okay. Now, the discount rate is the rate that the Federal Reserve lends to banks for overnight lending. But why wouldn't it be the Fed funds rate? Whatever. So the Fed funds rate is when banks lend to each other. That's the most volatile. So that's the lowest. Fed funds rate to the bottom, discount rate, broker loan rate, prime rate. Now, when the Federal Reserve does monetary policy, they will move the discount rate and they will buy and sell treasuries. So during expansion, and I have videos on this in the SIE thing, during expansion, they're going to sell treasuries and raise rates to make it harder to borrow. That's what they've been doing. And during contraction, which is on the way down, they're going to buy treasuries to get banks to the money and lower rates. But they only lower the discount rate. All the other rates will move in conjunction with it, but they only control the discount rate. On TV, sometimes they say, oh, they're moving the Fed funds. They're not. They know when they move the discount, the Fed funds will move because it's always about 50 basis points, which is 0.5% below the discount rate, but they only control the discount rate. Monetary is the money supply Federal Reserve. Fiscal is Milton Friedman doing supply side where they give tax, like what they're trying to do maybe here, tax breaks and stuff to the corporations, so they hire people, and none of this shit ever works. Hire people, and hopefully it trickles down. That's not the word they use, but they give money, breaks to the government, to the corporations. The corporations have more money, they hire more people, blah, blah, blah. That's supply side, that's fiscal. The other side is this asshole called John Maynard Keynes, whatever. He believes he's very much into government, okay? Government controlling the economy. And that, look, whether you like what the guy's doing or not, Trump is trying to move us from a government-based economy to a private sector-based economy. The government is a very big hirer of people. And that's what Keynes believes in, that the government should be doing this. So like during the Depression, there are people that have jobs. So we create jobs. We get the highways and stuff like that, right? So basically, if Jeff and I were out of jobs, the government would pay Jeff to dig a hole and then pay me to fill it in. Or he dig a hole, I put the post in. So they give us both jobs so that we can do stuff, and then we're getting money, and then we can spend it, and that saves it. I get that. The problem is using taxpayer money. Now, fiscal is changing taxes. It's the government, the president, Congress, taxes and government spending like investments. Monetary is the money supply, controlling the money supply. Tightening, and so during expansion, they tighten, and they make it harder to borrow by raising rates and selling treasuries. And during contraction, they ease. They go, here's some money. Here's some more money. Boom. And we're going to lower rates and make it easier to borrow. Literally from 2010 to 2019. Okay. So that works. Now, Emily, hope you got it from Lockhart. Remember this, 100 basis points equals $10 equals 1% equals 1 point. Okay. There you go. See, Pick Six has a funny name too. There you go. Okay. Okay. Emily, top 10. Here, I'll give you one tip. Okay. This is your one tip. Okay. Now, one tip. Watch my crash course playlist. And if not, fine. If you don't have time for that, it's 9 videos. If not, find my master class, quick and dirty. So just so we all know, I'm drinking Stewart's orange cream. Somebody just asked me that. It's so bad. Okay, so now I probably take a year off my life every time I take a sip. Okay, now, so we got, okay, here's the next tips. Here's the thing. When you're studying for the SIE, this is what you need to know. You need to know the investment risk. You need to know, like, systematic, non-systematic, call risk, all that stuff. I have videos on that. It's in the crash course. And you need to know what I say all the time, what the RR can and cannot do, okay? You need to know what, those are like the FINRA rules, the SIE rules, associated persons, prohibited activities, all that stuff I threw in the crash course, okay? All those videos. But you got to know the risks, and I have a great suitability table. That's awesome. Somebody actually asked me if I have a copy of it. I'm like, yes, I have a video of it. So there's a video where I have like all the products on the left side and all the risks on the top, and I have a check mark what it has. It's a really good visual, I think. Okay. Yari, that's right. So I'll see you soon. And the way it's working, you might be alone in there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Kevin, we're going to get this, right? So, okay. Here's my thing on that. So I'm not a big fan of multiple tests at one time. I get it because you want to get it done. But if you're taking the 63, how about this? If you're taking the 63 at the end of the month, let's say if you want to do both, fine a little bit. But let's promise me by the 20th of April, you will stop doing the 7 and focus 100% on the 63. Just drop everything about the 7 for 10 days. Get the 63 behind you so you don't have to think about it. Because you can't have two things. You can't have two masters, right? So you can't have like 63 and 7 at the same time, or it's hard to do. It's really, really hard to do. You don't want to do that. Wait for the dogs to bark. I think somebody's coming home soon. Okay, now. But we're going to, achievable. For the 63, I love it. And if you have cap and choose or questions, get them. The one thing I say about the 63 is when you get close, it's really about just taking tests into your eyes, please. Literally. Take tests into your eyes, please. Okay. John, that's a great question. I don't have a dump sheet, okay? I don't think it's that kind of test. Because here's the thing. As everyone says who's taking it, and by the way, if you come on Sunday, just saying, if you come on this Sunday, one of the girls who passed is going to give us feedback. She's not going to give us what she saw on the exam. She would never do that, but she's going to give us like how she felt and stuff like that. I'll leave it at that. The problem is the 24 is a lot of one-offs. So it's like, like we know with the 7, 10 to, between 20 and 40 option questions, a bunch of muni questions, you can put stuff down. This, it's just like, you got to know your shit. I mean, maybe you want to put the net cap stuff down, maybe, or like maybe you might get one margin question, maybe the reg M just to remind you. But really, It's not that kind of test. I feel bad that you don't have it, but like the 66, 65, 24, they're not really dump sheet tests. It's just the way they are. It does suck, but it is what it is. Okay. Okay, right. Yes, it is. So this is a great question. So we're going to block you for a second, Jeff. So now, if they give you a bid and an ask for mutual funds, right? Don't worry about that. It's probably not a change. I mean, it might be, but so really, if you see NAV of $10 and a POP of $11, it's too much, but let's just say it's the number. Okay, that's too high. It's more than 8.5%, but I'm going to use it anyway because it's numbers. If you have an NAV of 10 and a POP of 11, to find the sales charge percentage, you owe 11 minus 10, that's $1, divided by 11. I think that's like 9%. So the point is, you're going to take the POP minus NAV to get the difference, and then divide it by the POP, not the NAV. That's the thing. You're not, look at Pick 6 remembers it. Good. Okay, so now, it's not going to be out of the NAV. It's always out of the POP. Absolutely. And I have a video. If you go to my burning, if you're taking the 7, everyone check out the Burning Math video. And I literally do an hour and a half of, I think, maybe an hour of just NAV, POP, all the different iterations of how they can ask. I even do the old, how many shares can you buy? I show you a very easy way to do it. Okay. Andrea, I'll get to you in 1 second if you're not asleep already. So you have 2 weeks. I'd say do chapter quizzes until you're 10 days out, and that's a hell of a name. If you take chapter quizzes and read for the next 3 days, and then when you're 10 days out, then you take a final every day. But remember something: when you check your finals, everyone remember this. When you're checking your finals, you need to spend more time reading it, reviewing it, than taking it. So if you have a 2-hour exam, it should take you 2.5 to 3 hours to review it, because you need to review every single one. Don't just pick the wrong ones. Okay. Andrea, tomorrow, 2-hour drive, find my crash course. There's 2 videos that'll help you. 1, find my SIE Masterclass Quick and Dirty in the crash course, and maybe watch maybe let the suitability runs run, because you have 2 hours, right? You can do that, or you can watch my Gorilla Style. My Gorilla Style may have a little 7 stuff on it, but has a lot of mnemonics and little ways to remember shit. You know what's funny? I always fall. Okay, I'm with you. Whatever. Okay. Whatever. Not just whatever. Okay, now here we go. We got it. I appreciate it. I think Mathapalooza, the options Armageddon in my options playlist is my favorite. That's my favorite at all. Do you notice I always fall about 30 minutes behind, and then I use about 9. I got to catching up. Because I think everyone leaves and they go, he's not going to answer my question. So I love the Mathapalooza video. I love when I thought of it. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm just so smart. Then I followed Burning Math. I did one for the SIE called SIE Math Explosion. And then the one for the option one is probably I get the most comments about. Because what happens is when you're doing options, like everyone goes, the reason I thought of it was every time I do something with students, they go, let's do some questions from the exams and we'll do option problems. And the problem is half of them are just half of them are literally just theory questions, which are fine. We want to do math. So I realized there's no actual thing out there. We can just do math questions. So that's why I did the options Armageddon, which is literally 2 hours of me doing hedging and spreads, which is where everyone screws up. IV, I saw your text. We got you, man. We're back on you. We're behind you. Okay. Are REITs suitable for old investors? I have to think that REITs are not going to be preservation of capital. I think when you see preservation of capital, you got to think treasuries. You got to think, especially old people, right? Treasuries, AAA rated bonds, stuff like that. If any, look, this is the problem. Here's the great question. So I would say probably the young with growth, maybe long term. But again, what happens is, here's the problem some smart people have with this test. They look at a scenario, they see a question, and in their mind they go, I would never do that. Like they see the 4 choices, and in their mind they go, I would never do any of those things. But You have to think of it like the old caught in a blender question, right? If you go to an interview, they say you're in a blender and you're 2 inches tall. What do you do? It's not that it wouldn't fucking happen. How do you handle it? So you have to pick the best answer out of all those things. And Ibrahim, I'll get to you. So now, so I don't think either one of those really work for me, but if you had to pick between the two, because you have to pick with what you have, you go with the girl that brung you, you dance with the girl you brung, or the guy who brung you, whatever they call it, okay? I don't know, I can't think of the thing. So the horse that brung you. So if they give you 4 choices, you have to pick from those 4, and you may not feel good, and that's why people feel they're failing, because you have 4 choices, and none of them are good, but one's better than the rest. So you pick that, and then for the next 10 minutes, you're like, I got that fucking wrong. I know I did. But nothing was better. So in your mind, you keep thinking you got it wrong. That happens 5 times. And then you think you failed. Then you go, how did I pass? Okay. Like Abraham. Abraham. We got this, baby. I am so happy for you. Guess what we are? So cheesy songs. Okay, good. I have new ones coming out. I have new ones. I just didn't upload them in time because I was too busy doing videos. Okay, where are we? Okay, Alicia. Okay, so Fergie. Let me go back to Aisha. Okay, so Aisha. Okay, now, the best 65. If you have to watch one, I don't like that. Find my 65, 66 quick and dirty. That's the best one to watch. If I can squeeze a couple more in there, go to my 65, 66 playlist, the first 2 or 3, the quick and easy regs chart, and then the can I sell a security? Those are magic. Because I make it, you have the broker dealer, the IA, all that stuff, and then you have the chart for the exempt securities and stuff. Okay. Okay. For annuities, this is a good one. Okay. I'm still way behind. I'm not that bad. Okay. Now, okay. Now, for annuities, let's talk about the choices. So if you have an annuity and you annuitize, okay? If you choose, am I still on? Can you hear me?
Yep.
It says connection loss. So there it is. Okay. Sometimes it does that. Sometimes I'm literally next to a router. Doesn't fucking matter. Okay. Now, there are three main ways of choosing an annuity. So if you choose to get paid out on an annuity, there's 3 main ways. One is life, just life. You pay until I die. So what happens is Jeff's 65, he annuitizes, and they say, oh, he's a healthy guy, he's gonna live for 30 years. They will take whatever he has and divide it by 30, and that's what they'll pay him every year. And that'll go up or down based on if it's a variable or fixed. But they pay till he dies. But if he dies after 1 year, they keep the money. So that's risky, but it's the highest payout choice. The next one is joint and last survivor. So Jeff and his wife, they have it. They set it up until both are dead. So if he dies first, his wife will get paid until she goes. Okay, that's joint and last survivor. They call it last to die. Now the period certain one, that's the interesting one, right? So life with period certain it's a life annuity. That means if Jeff does it, he will be paid for life. If he lives for 100 years, they'll pay him for 100 years. However, they put a minimum. So if he does a 10-year period certain, they're guaranteed to pay out for the first 10 years. So if he gets hit by one of those stupid electric buses that nobody can fucking hear anymore, right? And he dies, he rolled over that thing. They will, if it happens in the first 10 years, they will pay his beneficiaries throughout the 10 years. And then once the 10 years is up, they end. But if he lives beyond the 10 years, they keep paying. They will not make you do the math on it. You just have to understand. Highest payout choice is always straight life. Then joint and last survivor pays till both die, and life with period certain pays for life, but a minimum number of years from when you annuitize. I hope that helps. All of those, remember, anytime you add something that's better for an investor, the payout drops. Alec! Okay. See, look at that. See? Don't fucking forget that, baby. People get cocky, okay? So it's funny. People pass the essay and they go, I don't need any help for the 7. And then they get punched in the face. And then they pass the 7. They go, I don't need help on the 66. Then they get punched in the face with both hands. Okay. Stay with it, baby. Okay. Now, I think I did. You notice all the questions are saying, what's the, hold on. Yes. Pretty boys drive Ferraris. Okay. Everyone wants this. What should I focus on? No, butterflies, just know they're neutral. Just for Troy, just to get it out of the way, butterfly. I do a video on butterflies. I think it's on the free side, but it's on my options math playlist. I just show you how to do it, but you just need to know. I show you what they look like and how to recognize them and how to do the math. But just know that butterflies are neutral. That's what you have to know, and there are 4 options. Okay. Okay. So right now, so let's talk about this works in the real world. So right now we import and export, right? If we import more than we export, we have a deficit because our money's leaving. If we export more than we import, we have a surplus because we're getting people's money. So as far as these tests go, right? So if you have a weak dollar, always money rolls downhill. That's what it's just like water. Money rolls downhill. Whoever has the cheapest currency will get most of the exports. Okay. So that's why our president accuses China of, and everyone does, of currency manipulation. That's a fact. Okay. They keep devaluing the yuan so that it's easier because if you live in the middle of fucking China, you don't give a shit that the yuan is more expensive or not. But if you're working in a factory and the yuan is lower, you're getting more orders, you're making more money, you're fine. Okay. Now, same thing if you live in like Alabama, you don't care that the dollar's strong or not if you're buying everything in the US, right? Okay. So now, so if the dollar gets weak, more people will buy our stuff. So this is the way I explained it. 2018, I went to, you go to Disney ever, Jeff?
I've been there.
Okay. Do you know when the worst week to go to Disney is?
Christmas?
Yes. So guess when we went? We decided, and we went on and that was fine. We were through it. But we didn't have any kids. It was like we went for a last thing before they got married and pregnant and all that, right? So we went on we booked it like 3 weeks ahead of time, which is stupid, right? But everyone there was speaking like 2/3. They say at least half the people were speaking another language. It's fine. I don't give a shit, but it was noticeable. Okay. And then I realized why, because the dollar's weaker than everywhere else. It's cheaper to come to the US Disney than to go to Euro Disney because they could bet more value for their dollar coming here. So I say we're like exporting fun. So when the dollar's cheaper, we export. Okay. But when the dollar's strong, we import. So we have a strong dollar. I mean, maybe that's what fucking Trump is doing, trying to fucking tank the dollar so people buy more of our shit. Either way, okay? So now, but then our imports are customers, so it doesn't make sense. Now, so if we have a weak dollar, we export more, we have a surplus. If we have a strong dollar, we import. If we have a weak dollar, we export more, we have a surplus. If we have a strong dollar, we import more because we buy more things, so we have a deficit. In reality, you want to export more than import. I mean, you want to have you want even, but you want to export because then their money comes here and you tax it and it's wonderful. Okay. Now, hope that helps a little bit. Now, butterflies, just know they're neutral. They're yes, pretty boys drive Ferrari is the order. Prime rate, broker loan rate, discount rate, Fed funds. Okay. I don't know. So this is the big thing. Look at New York Life. Look at Ameriprise. Look at Fidelity. Look at Schwab. Look at Morgan Stanley. Look at all these firms. A lot of these firms may or may not be hiring, and some of them, like New York Life, doesn't pay a salary, but they train you and they give you a high commission. Primerica, I don't know. I'm going to leave it alone, but they only do the 6, so they're not going to help you for the 7. But yeah, you can go to a place. I mean, Schwab, Fidelity, Vanguard, Ameriprise, Morgan Stanley, Merrill Lynch, apply to all these places as like CSAs or distance. Schwab's always hiring. UBS is always hiring in Nashville. They have that, what's that called? It's like a call center. It's a wealth center or something like that they're big. The guy who ran it, Josh Trubin, okay? He tried to hire, when he did it, he was trying to hire me to be their licensing director for UBS. This is like 5 years ago. And he goes, well, then you can't tutor people. It's like, well, then the pay you're showing me at is not even going to come close to being enough. It's like, literally, I take it because it looks cool, right? But my tutoring and all this other stuff makes so much more than that. So it's interesting. So I think that after I said that, he goes, we'll just not have a position. So, but they are hiring. Whatever the wealth center in, I think it's in Nashville or one of the Tennessee cities. I think Knoxville maybe. They're hiring a lot. Okay. Zaxby Zug. Okay. Hold on. C-Win, yes, you can always watch it again. Okay. Okay, hold on. Karen, I'm getting you. You'll be up next. Okay. Failed my 7 the first time, read the book again. I'm not going to punch you in the face because you owe me one because I keep saying the test is easy. Okay. Still getting surprised sometimes. Okay. Okay, here's another thing. I literally just did 2 long videos, and the third one's coming out soon. 2 long videos called, and now I put SIE, but it's like definitions. It's like literally 2-hour videos of definitions and terms that you'll hear. And I'm in the middle of doing one with other stuff in synonyms. So that should be out in the next couple of days. Okay. As far as you're taking a week and a half, watch those 2 videos if it'll help. They're long. They're called, they may say SIE in it, but for the SIE and the 7. I have to pick one or the other. But I would keep taking tests. Maybe if you're taking a week and a half, Zach's B, maybe take a day to just read the lower sections. Okay. And C-Win, yes, you can watch it again. Usually be out within an hour or 2, I think. Okay. Oh, look, she did say it. She said, look, Erin, she gets mad at me when I say easy test. So she said it before I said it. Okay. Is this Stratton Oakmont? It's by Oakmont, I think it is. Anyway, right? Okay. Yeah, I'm the Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, exactly. Okay. 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 Okay, remember, so let's talk about this real quick. If I have a stock and an option, the break even is always the stock plus or minus the premium, not the strike price. The stock, not the strike price. Okay, remember that. So if I buy 100 shares at 50 and I sell a 55 call, I am using the stock of 50 and then the premium from this option, and I'm adding or subtracting based if it's 2 buys or 2 sells or a buy and a sell. And then if that's it, if they say it's sold, or if they say the stock was bought or sold, then you use the market price to determine gain or loss. If they say exercise, you use the premium to not the premium, the strike price for this the gain or loss. I hope that helps Aaron a little bit. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. I got to catch up on 15 minutes. I gave him 15 minutes behind again. Okay. Oh, that's awesome. Asito, that's baby. I love it. Now the 10. Focus on the reading. I have an MSRB. I have an MSRB playlist. Oh, that reminds me. I have an MSRB playlist that will help you. Okay. It's more for the 10 because that's what really the whole thing is about. Okay, hold on. I'm going to find this. Oh, here we go. Okay. Spread. Let's see if it shows up. Because I promised somebody. Oh, here we go. Okay. Somebody asked about the underwriting spread. This video will solve that. Okay. I know it's a little late, but hopefully you're still on here. Okay. There it is. That's it. So, Aaron, the Wealth Advice Center. That's what it is, right? Yes, we could have been. You could actually, I could be sitting there and helping you without getting paid for it. Okay. Okay. Is that about salary? Okay. 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 Osito, I love it. Okay. So since you're not done, I'm not going to play a song for you until you get done with the 10. And then I'll play. You message me, and I'll play whatever song you want when you pass the 10. Yes. Yeah, May 24th. You got so much time, Heather. Now, yes, you have a lot of time. If more practice, so that's fine. You're a month out. You're in great shape. So just start doing the chapter quizzes first, 10 to 15 each. Then start expanding them into maybe 2-3 chapters at a time. And then do like half and half, and then do finals. Since you have a lot of time, work on that. And yes, the Kaplan questions are really good. They are good. Okay. Now, where's my Series 6 crash course? What do you have? There it is. Oop, not delete. So whoever's looking for the Series 6 crash course, it's right there. Boom. Okay. Dawn, I love it. Okay. Chris, listen, we all get punched in the face from the 7. Listen, I can't explain this enough. When I take the test, look, I'm not worried. Like I joke, I can take this test drunk on Xanax with one eye tied behind my back, right? So which is impossible. But I still hit that button, and I'm not sure. Because I know, look, I know I'm going to pass this thing, but I'm like, ooh, there's a little bit of doubt in there. Because I know my shit, and I still write it like I'm not worried. So that's what happens. Don't worry about it. As I tell everyone, if you fail, it's a 30-day problem in a 20-year career. And once you pass, nobody gives a shit that you failed. Nobody does. Okay. But imagine if we had worked together. That'd have been amazing. Okay. But you know, it's funny. You probably would have thought me a dick because I've been making you take these stupid tests. Okay. Dawn, okay. Why not? Just give it a shot. The worst that happen is you fail. Go for the 7. It made, like, look, the guy Mike, I'm not going to, but he passed in the 24 on his own and opened up quite a few doors at his firm and other places. So getting those licenses opens up doors, I swear. Okay. Chuck Shadak. I don't know. I mean, it depends what you have, right? So I have a couple of good ones. Really, if you want to know if you're ready, you have 2 choices. Go on the FINRA website. You can't do it more than once. I mean, you can, but it's a waste if you do it more than once. Go on the FINRA website and take their practice SIE exam. If you nail that, you're good. If you've already taken it, go to my exam walkthrough playlist. And the first one is called 75 Questions. That has a lot of correlation to the real exam. I'll put it that way. And how you know, if you're using a vendor like SDC or Kaplan or Achievable and you're passing exams every time, go take the fucking test. The usual rule is for Kaplan and SDC, if you're mid-70s or higher 3 times in a row, book the test for a week later. Okay. Alex, Yuma. That's awesome. You'll get one. Let's see. Oh, since you're down by where the hell? Since you're way down there, we're gonna give you a good one. Where is it? Why do I not have it? Oh, well, I thought I had the. Nope. Oh, well. Oh, there it is. Since you're down in Arizona. Boom, baby. Alex, that is outstanding. Yes, see when, yes, the Kaplan Q Bank, if you don't have Kaplan, like whenever it says what vendor should I get, I go get Achievable and buy the Kaplan Q Bank. That's my deal. Because Achievable, and I know I didn't talk about it before, I should have. Achievable.me, I have a link for it. Don't worry about it, just go there, okay? I have a link. If you want a $10 discount, you can, it's on in the Facebook group and in the pinned post, right? There's some other good pinned stuff in the pinned post too. Featured posts, I guess I call them now. They're pinned to the top. If you get Achievable and then buy the Kaplan Question Bank, okay? Yeah, no. Yes, it's awesome. Anytime you take any vendor you have, STC, Achievable, or Past Perfect, it's always good to get the Kaplan Q Bank, the Question Bank, for any exam, okay? Like I almost say, if you're going to buy it out of pocket, don't buy the Kaplan program. Buy STC or Achievable and then buy the Kaplan Q Bank. Because none of the other vendors just sell questions. I'm trying to get SEC to do it, but they don't want to do it. But that's the deal. So I'm a big fan of the Kaplan Q Bank. Also, it has 4,000 questions. Even if they don't look like the exam, they're good. Okay. Yes, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Put it on there. You'll get your firm discount 100%. Oh, you mean the Achievable one? That's a good question. I think if you have Achievable firm discount, I don't know that my only gives like 10, 15 bucks off. The firms give better ones. Okay. Stephanie, I love that. Superwoman, right? You're not giving up. Now, so you took it in 22. Now, the good thing is it's now been more than 2 years. It's reset. So even if you miss, you can take it again 30 days later. You don't have to wait 6 months every time. But we're going to get this. Stephanie, I can't say this enough. You're taking it in May. You have time. Focus on reading first. Is you the one who said you finished it? Did you? No, that was no, who said you're taking it in May? Maybe it was a while ago. Okay. You said May too, but the other person said mid-May, I thought. Okay. So, Stephanie, you're good? Okay. Okay. Focus on reading first. If you're done with the book, that's great. Do chapter quizzes. Then once you're passing those, move on to finals and take this thing. Let's do it the right way. You remember, I have a whole playlist for this, and then when you get close, I have the crash course, which will help you. Okay. Let's see what they're saying. I would do a mix. I'm a big fan of watching videos. I mean, reading is fine. Actually, if you want to read, if you don't mind reading it, read it again. But not at 9:20. I'm not giving you I'm not giving. By the way, we're 20 minutes overtime. I'm not doing long answers now. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Charlie, they say the same. Analytical methods. Find my time value money video. Find my crash course playlist. If you go to my 65, 66 playlist, the back end has a lot more stuff on there. I have a time value money video. My quick and dirty literally talks about the weak form, strong, matter, portfolio theory, CAPM, all that stuff. Okay. Yeah, the test is the same one from 2018. Not that much changes, except for nothing's. That's the thing. Yeah, if you do the FINRA one once or twice, you're done. You're kind of blown. Okay. 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 And again, so just find my videos on that. I am not doing any long questions right now because I'm trying to get out of here at some point. Okay. Now, Jeff has to. Yeah, she has a job he has to go back to. Okay. So now, studying with Kappa this time around 80. Yeah, I agree. So everyone with ADD, I tell everyone, try the Pomodoro method where you do like 20 minutes on, 25 on, take a 5-minute break, just do 25 minutes at a time. It'll help. Also, I'm telling you right now, everyone who has ADD, I do think if you get speechified, it helps because it reads it to you and the words light up as you do it. So it's pretty cool. And you can have anyone read to it. There's 200 voices, including Snoop Dogg and Mr. Beast. Okay. Gwyneth Paltrow. Suin, thank you. Now, boom, yeah, check that out. Now, did it help? Okay, that's all right. Oh, the speech. Yes, the speech. If I know. Oh, maybe I will. I should put it in there. Okay. Now, what time is a lot? So, Zaxby, remember, my thing on Sunday is for the 24. It's a Zoom link. It's not a lot. And it's at I think I'm doing it at 7 now because I coach lacrosse, and that ends at 6:15. So, oh, by the way, John, it's 7 o'clock. I'm going to have to change it. It's 7 o'clock on Sundays. I forgot I moved it because I'm coaching from 5:15 to 6:15. I'm still sore. I was telling Jeff the other day that I'm still sore from running around. I have to get in shape somehow. Literally running around coaching 5-year-olds. How tired can you be? They don't get fucking tired ever. Okay. Yes, Speechify, baby. Speechify. Look them up. They're outstanding. They read it to you, and they use AI, so it's not like it's not too much like a robot. Okay. And again, Zaxby, that Zoom thing is on Sundays, but it's for the 24. My Zoom membership class is on Fridays, 65, 66 at 6, 7 at 7, and options at 8. I know the 65, the NASA shit at 6, FINRA stuff at 7, and options at 8. And you have to join the membership. That's not free because I'm a greedy fucking bastard. The only two things I do for free are these Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay. Everyone, again, it's Speechify. Check them out. And I think we hit everything. Not bad. We got done. Only took me an hour and a half to get through it all. And people stayed on. People are probably like, they're probably still on. They're probably zonked out. My wife texts me, are you done with your live yet? Because she's over at my daughter's and she's going to drive in while I'm doing it. I don't think she likes to hear me talk like this because I think she gets embarrassed. Like she's like, ugh. So that's why I need a soundproof room. I got to make this room. I got to put one of those curtains up there so no one can hear me. Put a big on-air light outside of it, shit like that. So anyway. Okay, I think we're doing well. Jeff, you have anything to add? You talked way too much today.
Any questions? Just message us. You can just go to Jeff at Cap Advantage Tutoring.
Yep. And he'll walk you through how to get everything. Okay.
Yep. All the videos, memberships.
Right. Perfect.
Videos, things like that.
Perfect. Okay. Haiti, the opposite, the other way around. FINRA at 7, options at 8. So serious study time only gives you the 7 o'clock class and the options videos and the thing. If you want to do the options class, you got to pay the $50. It's called the options weekly classes. Okay?
If you're unsure, send me an email.
Yes,
I'll email
that's
you.
A very good point. Haiti, if anyone's unsure about the memberships, shoot Jeff an email and we'll go from there. Okay, everyone. Hopefully I'll see. I will not see any of you Thursday, except for the people who pass the 7 and on to the 65. Because remember, Thursday night is NASA night. But if you pass the 7, please come on Thursday night so I can celebrate. And you who passed the 2 is going to pass the 10. You're going to come on here, tell me you passed, and tell me what song you want, and I'll make sure it's on. Okay, everyone, you all have a good night. And we're going to go out on a, oh, I got rid of that one thing. Okay, I had a good, oh, there it is. We're going to go out on this note. Here we go. Very positive note.
Today's
You all
the
have a
day.
good night.
You've been studying your ass off. You got good night's sleep. You've been reading. You have your dump sheet done. You're going to walk in there like a fucking badass. You're going to get this, okay? This is the day. You've been working. This is what it all leads to. Today. This is it. You're going to go in there. You're going to read every fucking word. You're going to come out there like a champ. I know you're going to feel like you're failing the whole time, but you're not, because you're going to do this. You're going to nail this thing.
Okay, everyone started answering questions before I got to go, so I don't get to go now. I was really, see, it happens every fucking time. Right when I say go, people go, oh my God, talk, okay? Anyway, Debo, go take the fucking test. Studying because you feel too confident. Good, go take the fucking test. God damn it. Okay, basic wisdom. Oh, basic wisdom, Brandon Rith. He's a fucking great guy. He has his own channel I mentioned in the beginning. Let's go, baby. Ivy, love it. I'm out of here. Now I'm out of here. Nobody asks any more fucking questions. I'm out of here.